And first of all, I wanted to ask you, since the show is mainly about Ptolemy's life story, I wanted to know what role do you think that Sensia plays in that story?
Sensia exists for the first two episodes, really a whole two episodes, just in Ptolemy's mind and in his memories. But I think that that vision, the way that she continues to permeate his memories is so important, because it is her love. It is the spark and the electricity between them. It is the fierce way in which she loved him that compelled and encouraged him to be bold and brave during their romance. All of those things are the same elements that allow her to, even in her memories after her passing, to be able to pierce through all of the dementia fog and anchor him and ground him and lovingly motivate him and tell him there's still work to do. So even though there is this very dangerous, scary choice you're about to make, that you must do it because your work isn't done. So I think it's a beautiful love and challenge that that she shares with him that is necessary to pierce through and bring him back to us.
And like you were saying at the beginning, we see mainly Sensia through Ptolemy's eyes, at least at the beginning of the show. So how was it to play Sensia understanding both Sensia as the character that you play, and also Sensia like the woman who Ptolemy is remembering?
Yes, I think that's exactly what is occupying both. It's so important to occupy both. Sometimes I think about how we all have a really sharp memory of how everyone that matters to us in our lives, somehow when someone says their name to you, you immediately think of something. And whether that's that when he saw her in his mind, it was always in that dress, or as she was walking down that street, or maybe it was when she was coming down the aisle. I don't know, but we all have the way we see someone. So I think for me, it was the awareness of being the body and being the face and the eyes and the gaze. That was how he remembered me. But also in the scenes where I get to exist and live with him, to remember to be Sensia as a woman, as a whole, full woman who knew her mind, who knew her heart, and who was unafraid to go after what she wanted and to go after him. I think that both are so important, to be both the softness of what he remembers and sort of the idealized version of her, but also to be the power and the strength and the truth of what she was to him in those scenes where I get to play with him. So both is how I approach Sensia, is to exist in those both very fully.
And how was the process of collaborating with Walter Mosley to bring entity to the character, to play a Sensia that wasn't only that flash of a memory?
Yes. Well, I think Walter does such a beautiful job in the novel of, he gives us a Sensia that is a full person. We get to see her really fleshed out. And I think in that same way, we see in the teleplay how that character, because of how it's fleshed, it continues to sort of permeate the story as it permeates Ptolemy's memories. Working with Walter, I'm so grateful that we were able to, as a cast, have him there shaping every episode, and making sure that the story never veered too far from the novel. Also, I think, if you ask Walter questions about the story or your character, he'll often answer just saying, "What do you think?" I think that he's someone that, even though he's written, he's one of the most prolific novelists of our time. And yet I think he's still curious about his own stories and his own characters still. He doesn't seem to be a man who's like finite, he's always going further and deeper. And I think that's why him and Sam together were able to, over 10 years, keep discussing this project and, figuring out ways to tell this story, is because there's just so much there. They're both rich thinkers. There's layers to everything with them. And so, working with Walter is about getting into and in between all of those layers.
Thank you so much, Cynthia, and congrats for the show. It's really beautiful.
Thank you, Alejandro.